You're listening to My Journey at Colors, the City of Liverpool online radio station. And I'm here with the famous Louis Julienne. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, he's published a book called Pure Pressure. Tell us a bit about that book.
Well, it's a voyage of discovery, really. I wanted to capture the feel of Liverpool 8 when I grew up and when I was born. And I decided to choose probably the most historical significance in the history of the area.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the uprisings in July 1981.
Yes.
So it's set during that period, over a 3-week period, and it really tries to capture what a family is going through because of these events around them.
Sure. And of course you understood firsthand what that experience was like.
Well, most of the anecdotes there actually happened. Maybe not to me, but
you understood.
I've witnessed it.
Yeah. So, of course, in the book, you specifically talk about the statues and the purpose of, well, not the purpose, but part of the result of the riots was, getting rid of these statues. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think what the I don't call them riots because they weren't riots. It was an uprising against police brutality.
Yes. Okay.
And them events actually helped politicise the area a great deal. And one of the knockbacks from that was about these statues of people connected with the slave trade or who had benefited from the slave trade. And the most prominent of these statues are at the top of the boulevard, which is between Prince's Avenue and Prince's Road, of William Huskisson. And he'd been there for, well, at least for a century or more. And young lads got a couple of ropes in the middle of the night and brought the statue down.
Wow.
And it's quite it's quite, the plinth alone is about 6 foot and the statue is probably twice as much. So it's quite a heavy endeavour. And they knocked it down and it lay there for months. And what somebody else did, not those who brought it down, is that they decided to erect a monument to Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
And but it was a very makeshift sort of edifice, made of stone, cloth, and it's quite nice. And I left for London at that time, so I'm not sure when it finally came down, whether the weather brought it down.
Mm-hmm.
I know the authorities didn't, but they didn't.
Yes, they left it there for a while.
And that was it. I mean, I only mentioned it briefly in the book, and I actually attributed it to some unknown persons. I didn't want to sort of put real people's name on there because it is a work of fiction, essentially.
Right. Okay. But I mean, I can imagine the morale of, just seeing that constant reminder of those statues. And so what the uprising, I guess it empowered them to pull that down.
Right.
And to resurrect Bob Marley. And, Bob Marley has a lot to say, had a lot to say.
Well, he died in the March of '81. So it was 3 months after he died.
Okay.
So it was quite fitting.
fresh.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So in writing this publication, what was your end goal when you wrote it? Was it to make the public aware of what had happened, to celebrate change that had established over the years, or what was your reason for doing it?
To sell 1 million copies.
Well, that's a good answer. Hopefully there's something else.
Well, essentially it's to help people understand the area that I come from.
Yes.
That there's more to us than riots or fight with the police or crime. And although it was a very pressured sort of living, because we ghettoised in this very small area, it's very difficult and in fact quite dangerous to actually move out of that area. And white Liverpudlians, in general, only ever saw Liverpool 8 from the top of a bus. They drove through from town to their suburbs. And they just see all black faces running around, not realising that there's a history behind that we've been there for a long time. Certainly my ancestor, Elizabeth Clark, came from a ship as a freed slave in 1845.
Okay.
And her and her brother settled in Bolton, and that part of the family, we don't know what happened. There were many black people in Bolton, so I should imagine he married a local white woman, and then they married white people, and then they just sort of disappeared. But the Liverpool one is quite different. My great-great-grandmother, she settled there, had children, and my grandmother had 5 daughters, and all of them had big families. I'm the 11th of 12 children.
Oh wow! Okay.
And another auntie had 9 children, so there's quite a lot of us.
Yes.
And then, of course, over the generations, all these had kids, and so I can safely say I can walk down Liverpool 8 now, and within 5 minutes I'll find a relative.
Someone you know. Wow. Okay.
Isn't that common in Liverpool 8 that you have these long families? You know, there's a lot of other families that are having like about 8, 7 kids. Is that a common thing, or?
Well, it was common then. I think it was common all over. I mean, not just for black people. I mean, you know, there's no telly and no contraception.
I guess only because I. The days before the internet, but I guess maybe because I lived there, I was saying because there's a lot of families that are like the dynasties of Toxteth. I mean, what do you think about that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I consider myself as Liverpool 8 royalty in that sense, because we've been here for a long time. I don't know of any other family that's been here as long as we have, but I'm sure there must be. But there are some old established families, the Corlises, for example.
The Weavers, like the Weavers.
Well, they're part of my family.
Oh, well, okay.
My mother married twice. First husband was Mr. Weaver, and that goes quite a stay. But Mr. Weaver was white, and went to Blue Coats College. So everyone wanted to see this black woman marrying this educated white man, and they had 8 kids, and then they divorced, and then she met my dad, Mr. Julienne, and then she had 4 with him. So we're quite numerous. There's a lot of Weavers around, and a lot of Juliennes as well.
So your father, is he French?
French, yes, from Guadeloupe.
Okay.
Although he was born in Cayenne, in Guyana.
Yes.
But his family came from Guadeloupe.
Okay.
And so I went to see, he died and instructed his body to be buried back home.
Okay.
I don't want to be buried in no cold ground, is what he said. So I went to Guadeloupe and met a few relatives there. And
That's good.
oh, nice.
Okay.
But he came to, he was torpedoed during the war. And he docked in Liverpool in 1943, and that's when he met my mother.
Okay.
And then it was a strange relationship, my mother and father. My father was an Anglophobe. He didn't like England, so he thought they were dirty, he thought they were all stereotypical sort of thing. And so we said, no, we've got to go and live in Paris. So we went to live in Paris, and then my mum developed, she became a Francophobe. So every couple of years she'd get fed up and homesick, and we'd come back to Liverpool. So we did that journey about 6 times during my life, during my childhood.
But the great thing is, it kept you connected to Liverpool.
Oh yeah, well, when you came into our apartment in Paris, you may as well have been in England, because there was a day-old Daily Mail, the live programme on the radio, and we only spoke English in there. So my mother lived in France on and off for 20 years, and she still spoke French like an O-level student,
Mm-hmm.
a GCSE student,
Yes.
because we always spoke English at home.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, don't bring that language in here.
So forgive me. I've only been in Liverpool for about a year.
Oh,
So
well, you've got
I'm
much more
still
to see.
learning so much, and I love the the city. It's just brilliant. You know, the International Slavery Museum is there. There are tons of different things that celebrate different cultures here in Liverpool, and that's really attractive. But how far do you think things have come since the uprising? In terms of, you know, I'll give you an example. There are events that take place in Liverpool, in the city. And some of them you would think you would get a really good support from people of Caribbean or African descent. And you don't see them very often. So there's still sort of a separation.
Well,
And I don't want to...
no.
You
I think the best way to gauge progress. How long is it? 40 years now? 45? Is it? Yeah, since the riots. There were no black people in town, employed in town at all.
Really?
And if you go around now today,
You see...
well, you see about 6.
I was just going to say, you don't see that many, to be honest.
6. McDonald's in Liverpool is the biggest McDonald's in the country. I've seen black people in McDonald's in Cornwall, Devon. None in Liverpool. None.
Wow.
And so in that sense, we haven't developed, or they haven't allowed us to develop. And that's a big problem. I left when I finally settled back from Paris into England with a young family. I couldn't get a job here, so I had to join the exodus to London and come back every weekend. And I used to see loads of my contemporaries on the train coming back from London or coming back to Liverpool because there's no jobs. There were no jobs for black people. There is some progress though. I was the first in my family to go to university.
Okay, yes. And you attended University of Liverpool?
Liverpool, yeah. And that's a story in itself. But now, all my grandkids have gone to university. All of them.
So I mean, there's progress in families, I guess. So I'm sort of asking, would you say that perhaps we're seeing change or progress amongst the black communities within families? So like you gave the example of yourself going to university, and now it's not so, you know, like your children have gone to university, your grandchildren have gone to university, so you've planted a seed. Yeah,
except that they're in the same position. They end up moving out of Liverpool because of lack of job opportunities. So in that sense, nothing's changed very much, and it's a shame really, because all that talent is, you know, we're losing them. But once they leave, they don't come back, except when they retire, like me.
Well, you know what? We don't want to end this on a negative note. Let's talk about your most recent project. So you're working on you're part of an exhibition. Are you
right? Myself and 2 colleagues, Ray Corliss and Albert Fontenot, started this company, Editor's Development Company, Liverpool.
Okay.
And the idea of that is to celebrate the diversity and legacy of the Liverpool black community to the city.
Lovely.
And we started with the music, because it was one of the easiest one. And then, so we've got an exhibition right now at Liverpool Central Library.
Okay.
And it's called Black to the Future.
Blacks to the future.
Black to the Future.
Black to the
Yeah, Black to the Future.
Black to the future. Yes.
Get my DeLorean, baby.
And it's the history of, or the contributions of Liverpool's black musicians
Excellent.
to the city.
Okay. Very nice.
And that's been really, it was meant to be last just for the Black History Month, so it was meant to end last week, but they've extended it in 32 weeks because of the
The demand.
The demand on it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I gotta go myself.
No, me too. For
Well, you
sure.
gotta reopen.
I think I'm leaving here now and going.
Oh, you should do.
Yes,
oh,
no,
yeah.
seriously, that's
It should be kind of
brilliant.
interesting.
Very nice. So
So-
you're starting with music, and then you're going into other genres.
Well, yes. The final aim is to get a legacy about Liverpool's contribution, Black Liverpool's contribution to the
Yes.
city, and to have that permanently housed in one of the museums, either the Museum of Liverpool or the Slavery Museum or whatever,
Mhm.
but a permanent testimony to our contribution to the city.
Mhm.
So our next one will probably be boxing.
Okay.
And then politics and trade.
Mhm.
And then once we've done them three,
Well, I'm waiting for theater, to be honest.
the
Theater.
theatre.
Yeah.
Theater.
Yeah. Well, the other one was performers, non-musical performers, because we've done music, and that would include
Mm.
theatre, acting.
Okay, I
We've
see.
got quite a few
Yes.
individuals who made an impression in that sphere.
Mhm. Well, it sounds brilliant, and I just like to thank you for all of your hard work and dedication to really empowering black, not just Liverpudlians.
Liverpoolians.
Liverpudlians, but blacks in general. You're creating a platform, or you've created a platform that can really help people to learn more about who black people are as a people, and to appreciate, celebrate, and to grow that, amongst generations. So I really appreciate it. Thank you
you.
so
Put it
much for your
better.
time.
Well, hold up the book and say where can we find it?
You can get the book on my website.
Yes.
That's louisjulienne.com. No, sorry. .co.uk. I'll say
yeah,
that
man.
again.
You're in England.
www.louisjulienne.co.uk.
And it's also on Amazon.
It's on Amazon, or you can buy it in the city. News from Nowhere on Bond Street.
Okay. Well, thank you very much again
Thank you.
for coming and spending some time with us today.
Okay, so when can I?
Hold on, man. Wait for the show to go over.
So I've spent some time today with Louis Julienne, who published Pure Pressure, and that book again is available from his website as well as on Amazon. And my name is CJ. This is my journey at Colors, the City of Liverpool online radio station, streaming live from the community for the community.
Color.